What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Chief Chat. It's good to see you. It's good to have you here. It is Friday, July 23rd, and so many exciting things to share with you. We've got some friends in the hot seats today. We're going to do some copy reviews. We are going to we're going to do some live coaching with some freelancers who want to advance their career. I like to feel like that's a specialty. Like we're very good at helping freelance copywriters and freelancers of all kind do better business. That really thrills me. By the way, quick aside, if you don't mind some personal news, kind of a cool moment here in the Rogers household today. If you might know that my son is a musician and he's got the music part down. Obviously, he'll continue to explore and improve his entire life. He's 17. But he's been really focused for the last year on the business side of it. And he's basically exactly everything I coach freelancers to do, right? Like how to communicate, how to reach out, how to do cold outreach, how to get booked. But I'm trying my best to not overcoach because I'm his dad for one, and he's not going to listen as good as people who pay me to do it. and two, I want him to have his own experience. We got to learn from mistakes. And so today he booked his first paid gig all on his own. No help from me. I didn't even look at the email he sent, before it went out, man. It was really, really exciting. He woke up today, just thrilled. And I was like, that's the moment, right? Like, that's the moment that I said, remember this day, July 23rd, because, it literally changes you. You go, oh, it worked. Like, he's played gigs before, but he never, reached out to the club and did everything top to bottom, named his price, got it, all that stuff. So super cool. And I'm excited for him. So that was fun. So speaking of live and performing live and being together, I want to share with you some really exciting news about Copy Chief Live. As you may or may not know, it is on, and it is coming up pretty fast in November 8, 9, 10, right here in St. Petersburg, Florida, where we've done the previous three. This is an event like no other event, honestly, that I've ever seen anywhere. Not just like, I don't even want to. Hi, Ashley. Good to see you. Tian, great to see you. Hey, Leon, Carmen. Hi, good to see you. Copy Chief Live is unique in several ways. Mostly because just our community is so amazing. Like, these are just such great people. If you're part of Copy Chief, if you're inside the membership area, just how amazing our people are. Everybody loves to help each other. You're in there shoulder to shoulder with people who are a couple clicks ahead of you, who are miles ahead of you, who are a mile behind you, right? And everybody gets to share, and everybody's an expert in their own right, because we're living, breathing, thinking, active, implementing human action takers. And we learn stuff, and we gleefully share it with people who need it. And others do that with us. It's an amazing exchange. By the way, not available in most industries. So congratulations on choosing copywriting and marketing as your forte, because this industry is special in regards to how much we share. So that's one thing that's unique about Copy Chief. We're the longest running copywriting community since 2014, serving it up hot and fresh since 2014. And so we have this amazing sort of lineage in thousands of members over the years. And everybody loves to come together. And so we treat the event that way. What we love to do at Copy Chief is give you useful information that you can't get anywhere else, that you can actually implement, right? Look, I love seeing great speakers and people I look up to and admire, but I don't know about you. I got a little touch of the ADD. And I guess my leg gets shaken after, like the third or fourth speaker. And what's a bummer is because, the quality of the information you're getting is amazing, right? And I just feel like my brain is a sponge and it's full. And so it's just leaking. All this great information is just like pouring out of my ears like a sieve. That's how I feel. You know what I mean? When your head's just tired and you're like, I know this is genius. I know it would change my business. I'm not hearing a word of it. And I can't take notes that fast. I'd rather be in the moment. So I think, shorter talks, time to digest, and implementation, live implementation, where we, give, somebody teaches us something and then we do it, right? Like some task that otherwise we'd have to like buy a thing, download the thing, watch the video, do the thing, maybe have the opportunity to get feedback, usually not. Do that in 45 minutes. Give me the best thing you got. Teach me how to do it. We turn on some music. We sit for 10 or 15 minutes and we do the thing, and then we get coached on it. And you leave there something you can actively implement in your business, like that night, that day, that moment sometimes, right? That's what we love to do. So it's this great interactive. It's not you sitting and listening and going, why did I have a burrito for lunch? I am so tired, right? Like, why did I eat that cookie? I'm crashing from the cookie. I'm going to go have my 5th cup of coffee because I can't keep my eyelids up, even though I know this person's a genius. That's not helping anybody. So that's one way, the big way that Copy Chief is different. The other way, and I know some other conferences and things in the industry like to claim this. I would challenge any other entity or live event to show evidence, dollar for dollar, that they actually get people, their attendees, work at their events. Okay, I'm not saying they don't. I'm not saying opportunities don't happen. I'm sure they do. But I think a lot of it is they teach you some BS way to hardcore pitch somebody, and then that person is probably not going to take you up on it. And if they do, there's a chance you'll never actually get paid and blah, blah, blah. Right there. What we do is not a scheme. It's not a work getting scheme. It is, hey, we've got the best writers in the industry. They're of all levels. They're talented. They're ambitious. They're hungry. Obviously, they invested to be here and to learn. And hey, company who needs writers and is always going, where are all the great copywriters? Here they are. Look at them. They're all right here in this room. And so we bring clients in to meet you. And I can tell you that I could literally show you screenshots of at least $500,000 in contracts that came from the meetups just at Copy Chief Live. Millions more just happen organically in the community, right? Just people meeting, chatting. Hey, I love that critique you gave me. Are you available to write? Yeah, I got some time. What do you got? Blah, blah. Millions of dollars that we can't even count. Don't try to count. But at the event, I can tell you the companies that came to hire copywriters, offering full-time work sometimes, have moved people around the world, from Australia, from the UK, to come work at their companies and give them an education, pay them to get an education so that they can go on to make millions of dollars as a copywriter. Unbelievable. It does not happen anywhere else. That's the second unique thing about it. The third unique thing about Copy Chief Live is that the vibe of it, right? There's no velvet ropes. Everybody's there having a great time, and everybody's completely accessible. You will very likely be in I was going to say something rude. I'm not going to say that. You will run into, let's just say, it doesn't matter if you're in the restroom or not. You will run into your heroes in this industry at this event. You will look over at the table next to you, and people that you would gladly pay thousands of dollars to have a moment with, or get feedback from for an hour, are sitting there watching the same thing you are, with the same smile on their face, having a great time, right? And they want to meet you. They want to talk to you. So they're hanging out at the bar. Maybe you grab lunch. But here, I'm going to make it even better this year. Here's my exciting news. So people that come to the event, a few people who have been to the event every year, not even to present on stage, okay? Marcella Allison, David Deutsch, Lori Haller, Dean Jackson, right? Like John Carlton, legends of the industry who just love being there. This year, I'm going to take it. I'm going to facilitate this in a cool way. I'm creating this thing that I'm tentatively calling the room, right? And so at the end of the day, because I get it, like, I've been so guilty of this. One of my most embarrassing stories of when I was first freelancing, it was a moment like this where I saw somebody important that I looked up to, wanted to connect with at the bar, and I worked myself up into this nervous frenzy, and I went up and I just shoved like a writing sample at him, and he was trying to be cool, like, and engage and like chat about it, but I was so worried about not bothering him that I basically rudely like walked off as he was asking me questions. It was mortifying. It was so embarrassing. It was horrible. But so I get it. I know that we just build this thing up in our mind sometimes like it's this big deal. But so look, I'm not going to leave it to chance that you see somebody you admire and you'd really love to go up and talk to them, but you don't want to be rude, or you're nervous, you know. So what we're going to create a thing called the room, where for 1 hour after the presentations are done, and we're not talking about 7 p.m. when your brain's fried, more like 4 in the afternoon, we'll take a break, we'll come in fresh to the room, and all the experts at the event, whether they're speaking on stage, whether they're just hanging out, will be there. And also, people from the super group, my coaching groups, the accelerator group, all in there, and all the attendees come in and we just hang out. It's like a lounge. We just casually hang out. And the idea is that this is when you go up and interrupt a conversation or bother somebody, or, we'll have a loose formality about it. I'm basically going to say, hey, everybody here, the person you're talking to, there's other people who want to talk to them. So if a line forms, that's fine. But either way, just everybody have like about a 5 or 7 minute timer in your head. Like, connect, say hello, get in, get out, and let's rotate. So I'm not going to do like blow an air horn and have like a speed dating thing. We're going to make it cool and casual, but you're there like, all right, they've given me permission to go talk to this, what they're here for. I'm not bothering somebody at dinner at the bar, right? So really excited about that. All right, so who are some of these experts that are coming? This is very exciting because I don't know about you guys, but it's funny. Like I know the pandemic and COVID-19 is like different all over the world. And even, right here in Florida where I live, the big joke is that we just decided we're not having a pandemic anymore like last fall, right? And I'm not going to say it worked. I'm just going to say at the end of the day, we had a very different experience that most people did. Most people are Canada, for instance, right? One of our team works in Canada, and they have 17 cases, and they go on full lockdown, right? Here, that would be like victory. Only 17 cases yesterday. So I get that everybody's experience, but how I've been feeling is like, I keep coming into this year, and I'm like, who am I? like because you're so in the groove of how we used to do things. And like when the pandemic hit and quarantine started, I think everybody had the same experience. Like the world just stopped, and we were all like, oh wow, this is kind of nice. Like I'm forced to, like, every day is almost like a sick day, right? I'm just like, there's panic about, obviously people lost jobs and all that. But, for a lot of us, it was, the one nice thing was that it just slowed life down, right? And we got to enjoy. And I think we all kind of had that moment where we were like, what the hell was I doing? Like, why was I running around like a nut constantly? And why did all that seem so important? And now, at least in my experience here in Florida, in the US, coming on the other side of it, where for the most part, things are opening up again. Sporting events here and things like that are pretty much back to normal. And now you're having to come out of it and go, oh, are we getting busy again? You know what I mean? It's like, so like remembering how you used to live and sort of ramping yourself back up to that. And so, for the first time in like the last 2 weeks, because Copy Chief Live is like in full swing now, and I'm, confirming speakers and doing all these things, it just feels like finally this great energy that I used to have every day is back, and it's all very exciting. All right. Who are some of these confirmed experts for Copy Chief Live? November 8th through 10th, copychief.live is where you can get on the the notification list to get first dib on tickets. It's a wait list right there, and August 17th is when they go on sale. First confirmed, Parris Lampropoulos. Parris Lampropoulos, who, if you're a copy nerd, you know, doesn't speak anywhere, does not share what he does. He has a group of cubs, like 7 cubs that he works with for like 2-3 years at a time. And those are the only people who get to learn what he does. He did do one special event, you may recall, like a year or 2 ago, where he shared a lot of his training. And it was to help save his cousin Taki's life because he needed special treatment. He had brain cancer. We worked together to put together an amazing offer, and all the money went to Taki's treatments. And so it was really successful. It extended Taki's life by years and allowed him to see his children graduate school. And I think there were weddings, and it was amazing. That's the only reason Parris has ever shared anything beyond our stage at Copy Chief. And so how could I not have Parris Lampropoulos come speak at this event when he's willing to do it basically only for us? And so Parris is going, and I just spoke to him yesterday on the phone, and we decided what he would teach, which is me going, anything you want. Sounds amazing. That's great. Yes, do that. But the thing he's sharing is something that he's literally only ever shared with his cubs. You can't get it on the Taki stuff or anything. That is one, Parris Lampropoulos. Number 2, Selena Sue. If you guys know who Selena is, Selena is an amazing teacher of how to get booked, how to get press, how to get PR, how to land high profile guest writing articles on like Forbes and Entrepreneur and Fast Company, right? Like all these great publications. A lot of the people who we see at the top of our industry have used Selena's systems to get themselves sort of famous, right? So Selena is going to come and give us a workshop about how to get booked on podcasts, how to pitch ourselves to publications, right? Like how to take our everything, our PR, our authority to the next level. Super cool. My great friend Laura Belgray is coming back again, because Laura, to this day, I could say the one copywriter, maybe there's a couple others, but there is not a single email that Laura sends out to her list that I don't open and read. And every single time I do, I'm delighted. I get the dopamine drip that I was hoping for. She always delivers. She has gone from being sort of a, just a freelance copywriter, a well-respected, successful freelance copywriter, to growing her list with such an engaged audience that she continuously wins high-profile affiliate competitions. She sells her own products in the millions of dollars. So she's single-handedly, with like her and an assistant and maybe a designer, taken her business. She loves to call it her couch life. She likes to just do her thing the way she does it. I don't think she's as lazy as she likes to joke about calling herself, but a very common phrase in our world of copywriting is, I just want to be Laura Belgray. I want to be able to do what I love to do. And I want to be able to get thousands of dollars an hour just to get on the phone and look at copy with people. And I want to be able to have this amazing life. And so this will be Laura's 3rd time at Copy Chief Live. And she's just so cool and fun and open and shares everything. So we're going to do kind of a workshop panel on day 3. Another expert that I confirmed yesterday, Dean Jackson, the great Dean Jackson, will be there. We will do a panel. I've been implementing Dean's email funnels in my business literally since 2014 when I first launched the 60-second sales hook, and have never turned that funnel off. It's been a staple of our marketing, the whole run of Copy Chief and everything we've done since. And I love getting on stage with Dean and doing a case study about how it's evolving, how it started, what he's learned. Dean is always full of incredible wisdom. Adrienne Dorison, who is the implementation arm of the book Clockwork with Mike Michalowicz, again, a program I've taken my team through. She's an expert on time management, project management, personal productivity, working with a team, optimizing how to work with a team. She's going to give an amazing workshop on that. And also my good friend, David Deutsch, another copywriting legend who you don't get to hear from often enough. He finally did put out his course last year. But David Deutsch, just one of the genius minds in the business. And every single time I'm privileged enough to hang out with David, even just over lunch or walking around a museum or whatever the heck we do that day, I'm just taking notes the whole time. He has so much knowledge, and he's so casual about sharing it. He's just brilliant. So those are just a few of the experts that you'll be hanging with. There are more names to come at Copy Chief Live. It really is quite amazing. And so people are asking about ticket prices and all that. Yeah, I don't know. We'll talk about those things, Carolyn. Like if you, we did pre-sell some tickets for 2020 event. Obviously it never happened, and we refunded everybody. But you will have access as a member to the best pricing. I promise you that. So worry not, my friend. Cool. So again, appreciate everybody being here, and let's rock and roll with some I'm just still learning StreamYard, so let me figure out all the commenting and everything here. All right, let's bring on some friends and do some coaching here. Let's start with Youcef, who is the first one here on the stream. Thanks for waiting patiently, Youcef. Good to see you. How are you, friend?
Yo, what's up, Kevin? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I hear you loud and clear.
Awesome. Dude, thankful to be here.
Yeah, thanks for being a member, and thanks for jumping on today. What are we
Man.
looking at copy, or are we talking about freelancing?
It's more a freelancing thing,
Yeah.
So right now I'm basically trying to niche down on an industry and a bad signal, and I'm trying to figure out how to connect and get in front of, people who are in the top 10 or 20% of their market, people who are already making money, already proven their model, but they are, looking to do things better, or, they have an ongoing need for copywriting and
like
that
a
stuff.
Nice fat retainer deal with an active marketer where you're getting seeing your stuff implemented, you're seeing the numbers. Yeah, that's
exactly. Because it's kind of frustrating, like shipping your work and not knowing where it will land.
It is so frustrating. It's so weird to me that there's a level of business owner who treat it that way, like very transactional, like all these, dirty one night stands. And then they go, and then they don't, and then it seems like you see that they actually use the copy, and it seems like things went well, but then you see them hiring again, and you're like, hey, why don't you?
I'm here,
But then they're like, oh no, I'm not going to tell you your copy did well because I know you're just going to try to charge me more.
Right.
Like, that's probably a good way for us to grow together. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So yeah, breaking out of that, that's a good goal. So look, man, have you been through, you mentioned, your specialty, your bat signal. Have you been through either or both of EV and RFL yet?
Nope, I didn't.
Okay, cool. So
yeah,
I'm not here just to pitch you my programs, obviously, but I'll give you some snapshots right now, but we go very deep into that because there is a proven strategic, game plan for putting yourself in a position for those kinds of clients. Here's the thing, Youcef. You don't want to be just another copywriter in the long line of copywriters who are duking it out over the lowest price. You don't even, if somebody's first question is how much, that's a red flag. That's not a client ideally you want, right? And so when we can choose a specialty, we call it a bat signal in certain forms, but even just like organically go where you're drawn, niche wise, based on your existing experience and knowledge, where you have some expertise and some insight. You'd be shocked, I think, most freelancers are, at how little you need to know to be considered an expert in a certain thing. And I'm not saying I'm never promoting like fake experts or fake it till you make it or lie, but the good freelancers, one of the criteria for being great is that you care a lot about, doing great work. And there's a weird brain thing that happens when we care a lot, we are our own toughest critic. And so we judge ourselves based, like, I don't want to let someone down. I don't want to pretend I know something I don't. And so we tend to, like, tamp down our own expertise. And then when you get out there and you start mixing with clients who have been searching for a copywriter who might know something about their product, their industry, and they haven't found it, and they find you there, it's like, where have you been my whole life? And suddenly you're like, oh, hey, it's up. Your confidence goes through the roof. And so it's like one of those things, if I could just, like, have everybody trust me that there are people out there who will gladly regard you as an expert. And dude, even if you're newer at copywriting, you never promise something you can't deliver, but they're looking for a copywriter either because they don't have time to write their copy or they just really suck at it. Like, some people really suck at writing. I mean,
I've seen it.
God bless them for identifying the fact that they horribly suck at copywriting and their words are unacceptable to sell their product. You know what I mean? So all that to say, like, so let me ask you, like, when you thought about, okay, Bat Signal being an expert, what market, what niche do you naturally lean towards?
Well, e-com and self-help, info marketing, basically. But
Okay,
I don't
cool.
know because they have very different needs, like,
Yeah. So, like, motivation, self-help, mindset, all that stuff.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you said e-com as well?
Right, because right now I'm working with a high-level agency, writing Facebook ads copy.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Dude, that's another thing you might be surprised. There are so few free Facebook copywriters.
Yeah, I noticed that.
It's bizarre. Like, it's one of our money skills. I promise you, we have the best training on how to write effective Facebook ads in Copy Chief, right? All of Mike Renard's stuff. But yet people remain intimidated by the idea of writing Facebook ad copy. I'm not sure why. So it's great that you've embraced that, because that alone is a great advantage for you. Make it known, put it in like in Copy Chief, wherever else, Facebook ad copy. Okay. Like that alone, just put that in your title and LinkedIn or whatever, and that will help you stand out because they're oddly hard to find. And then, look, if you can get as specific if you want. If you want to, combine e-com with mindset, with, like brain health, there you can look at, I just started, I always loved, what was the original app? It's still out there that is like brain training. I can't remember it right now, but there's some, but I just started a new one. Oh, Lumosity is what I'm thinking of. And I just started, with Elevate, a new app, right? And it's great. And they got probably hundreds of thousands of users. And so that's right there where e-com meets mindset, mental health, brain health, right? So there's all kinds of ways, like be a student of it, spend some money, like, buy the app. I think it's $4.99 a month or something. And like, how do they email you? How do they actually market to you beyond just using the app, right? How good is their pop-up copy, their notification, their reminder copy, all these things that you can observe and say, as a copywriter, where can I come in and be effective? And then be aggressive with sharing with them. Hey, as long as you start out with some sugar and you say, hey, love your stuff. I'm a customer first, and I'm also a copywriter, and had some great ideas about how you could make your notifications more engaging or something, right? And you just give them 10 ideas. That's counterintuitive. Sometimes people are like, oh my God, you can't give it away for free. Why not? Like, why not show them that, wow, this guy's not only saying he can do it, he's actually just showing that he likes us. He's cool. He because man, like, whether they're interested or not, they're going to remember you and like hiring you or say, hey, we already have the help we need or whatever, but these are cool. Appreciate it. You're practicing anyway. And so just do the work you do and don't get so hung up on what's the exact protocol. If you go into it thinking it's like this negotiation from the beginning and I can't show my cards too quickly, but then you can feel that if it's that kind of exchange, right? But if you're just like, hey man, go in with a lot of momentum, a lot of energy, and just kind of blow their minds a little bit. Even if they're not looking, they might recommend you to someone else, or you know what I mean? Like, we're all human and we're all walking around every day talking to people. We have needs, other people have needs, and very few people make it onto our mental radar, our mental Rolodex, because so much shit's flying at us all day long. So be that person who breaks through all that noise and gets attention, and just see where that takes you.
Makes sense. Or this kind of people, like everything happens like word of mouth and master stuff, you know. So I got hung up there, I think.
Yeah, we tend to overthink it. Look, I get it. You know, it's especially when you're newer in your career. We want to follow the rules. I was saying up at the top about my son. I just watched my son go through this. Right? They said they were the first like club to write him back and go, yeah, we'd be interested in you know, how much do you charge for? We need a 3-hour set. And he's like, I said, he's like, I didn't know what to say. I didn't want to say too much. So I said $200. I'm like, that's great. Like, who cares? Because you would probably do it for the tips. You know what I mean? Like, he goes to the pier and he busks and he makes 30 to 50 bucks an hour. I'm like, you know, so you got nothing to lose. And so they were like, so sounds great. So that little, it's always, man, you know, the dollar bill that the store frames and puts behind the counter, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The family run store that's been there forever. We all need those first, it could be, you know, it's so symbolic because it's like, it worked, it's happening. And from there, the millions of dollars came after. So I'm not an advocate of like working for free or lowballing yourself. I am an advocate for just being enthusiastic and unabashedly showing your talents and abilities, because when you can do that, what are the chances somebody's just you're gonna tease somebody into wanting to maybe give you money? You know what I mean? We gotta do what we do and put it on display. Show your work, man.
Okay, makes sense.
So I hope that helps. So all that to say, let's break it down into 3 steps. I'd love for you to narrow down. You've already done that. You found, you know, your niche and now find some companies and start to study their marketing. Okay. Really study their stuff. Number 2, start to break it down. And so you learn from it and share that somewhere. Share it on Instagram, Facebook. If you have a website or a blog or LinkedIn, wherever you have access to now. Don't go crazy. Oh, I'll spend like 6 months building a website. Don't need it. Don't worry about it. Just like share and show your work, show your thinking, and then share what you create with that company. Send it right to them. Make a little video, a 1-minute video introducing yourself, and say, hey, I made this for you because I think what you do is great. I'm a copywriter. See how you like it. If you're interested, hey, you know, let me know what you think. Don't even say, then maybe we can talk about me coming to work. Forget all that. Let me know what you think. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And just see where it goes from there. Look, every time I've worked with somebody who's aggressive at cold outreach, it's when they do it that way that it's very effective, right? When they just are like, man, I'm not showing what Dean Jackson calls whiskers. I'm just showing cheese, you know? It's not a trap. I just want to truly, like, you know, drop a little value bomb into your world. And then, you know, because, man, it's just a great practice for how we want to roll through our careers every day anyway. Just show up and kick ass, you know?
Right.
So, all right. Hope that's helpful, man. Is that helpful?
Yeah, very helpful. Thank you, Kevin.
All right, brother. It was great seeing you, man.
Thanks, bro.
Sweet. All right. Make sure like Lolita's not trying to tell me anything. Okay. Let's do Alyx next. Yeah.
Hey there.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. Good to be here.
It's great to meet you. Where are you?
Bozeman, Montana.
Wow. I've never been to Montana.
Yeah, it's smoky right now, so might not be the best time to show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, it's great to meet you. And how can I help?
So I have some copy for you to review.
Awesome.
Today. And do you have that, or do I need to drop it? Okay, good. Awesome.
It's Alyx's broadcast email. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Might not get to read all of it for time, but tell me. Give me the context.
Okay, so the short context is I went through the Email Copy Academy, and I was able to, through that 6-week period, build my own list and start writing broadcast emails. And this was the second email that I ever wrote.
Great.
So props to Chris for his amazing
Chris
teaching.
Orzakowski, amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. So so I posted in Copy Chief before I sent it out just to get some feedback, and it was suggested that this get critiqued. So here I am.
Okay, great. And so this is you writing to your list.
Mm-hmm.
How are you positioning yourself to the list?
So I hopefully would like to specialize in email marketing as a copywriter, and the target audience will just be like copywriters and business owners who have their own list and want to grow it.
Okay, great. So it's like, sharing something useful. It's like give them a reason to stay on your list, become a fan. And by the way, I just want to point out, it's great that you already know that. Like having copywriters on your list, first of all, no way to avoid it, because copywriters want to learn from other copywriters and see what we're doing.
Yeah.
And sometimes people get bummed out. They're like, I'm looking for clients to join my list. And it's like, I'm like, not a bad thing. Because guess another thing that copywriters love to do is recommend other copywriters, because it makes us look smart, right? So, okay, cool. Well, let's take a look. And I'm going to share the screen. I don't have 2 monitors, so let's see how this works. I don't want to share Chrome tab. I think this will work. How's that working?
Hey, there it is.
Okay, good. Now, how does this look to everybody? Okay, cool. I see it. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, cool. All right. So the headline is the worst mistake you can make when writing your emails. All right. Pretty compelling. I don't want to not know that. Imagine sitting down to read an article about the daily life of giraffes. You don't know a whole lot about giraffes, but you're curious. How do they live with those long necks anyway? The author is some high-level zoologist with a PhD. He's very smart. He knows a lot about big science, knows a lot of big scientific terms. As you read, you find yourself struggling to get through the word. You stumble over terms like lumbar extension and artiodacty. I love that you put in a word I literally have never heard of.
Case in point.
Exactly. When you're done, your brain hurts. You don't feel you learned out. Why does use words like a neck instead of that lumbar? Why couldn't he have ditched the scientific term for related to camels? This kind of writing is a huge problem in the business and marketing community. People are losing sales. They're not getting the results they expected, missing out on a lot of opportunities. The mistake, they all think using bigger words will make them sound smarter than use simple language. Great. And then you got some proof to back it up. That's up to 3 guys. Yeah. Really good, man. Here's the thing. Our audience is the marketers don't give rat's ass about whether you use it. Right. They just want to know you can solve their problem. And so the great brand wrote his heads and third grade. Think about it. The master copywriter who commanded the English language wrote ads so simple, even little children could understand. Great job, Alyx, of proving what you're saying.
Thank you.
Giving us evidence. Again, you're not just, one mistake a lot of people make is they skim from the top because they're like afraid to lose attention. It was like, if I go into detail, but our brains want proof of what you're saying, and you're doing it in a colorful way, and you're getting quick and in and out of those things. So that's
awesome.
Really great.
Okay, good to know.
So 12th grade, and a side note, if you're curious about, Hemingway tools, so you're giving them a free little tool.
Yep.
Okay, and you'll spend less time browsing through your thesaurus. Yeah, it's not about the magnificence of your language. It's about the message you're trying to get across to clients and customers. So next time you're tempted to reach over to this thesaurus for that bigger word to sound smarter, search instead for ways to use the simpler phrases in English language. Great. It's fantastic. I don't know what to criticize about this.
Oh man.
Honestly.
Wow.
Because look, you know what I really love about it? It's very balanced.
Okay.
Two things that tend to happen, especially when we're writing to our own list. We feel this immense pressure to be Laura Belgray or some amazingly funny and magical kind of writer. And so we get locked and we go, well, let me practice that. And when I when I'm stunning myself every time I sit down to write, I guess then I'll be ready to actually communicate with people. Forget that.
Yeah.
You're practicing on everybody's dime here, but your stuff. So what's really important, especially in the beginning, is clarity and value. And I'm not confused by a single word you're saying. In fact, your stuff is about not being confusing.
Yeah.
It's the right length for me to want to consume it and say, Alyx taught me something today. I'm going to open her next email. Right. So killer. Great job. And I think what's your plan to, schedule? How often are you going to send out?
So because I'm still working a full-time job right now, I'm doing about once a week, or I try to do once a week for broadcast. Okay. I hope to increase that here in the next few weeks when I go part-time, because I'm in the process of transitioning out of my full-time job into this.
Cool.
So yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. That's 1 week is plenty. Is absolutely plenty. And here's the other thing, as you go, start to notice themes. One thing I would tell you, like a theme like this is great. So, we tend to go, what's inspiring me or what's interesting to me right now? And that's fine as motivation, but we tend to then kind of go all over the place, right? If you can now pick, say, 4 or 5 themes.
Okay.
So one is like clarity, how to make your copy super clear. And then, so pick a few others and write those articles. Here's the great thing about that. Now that stuff's on your radar, and I forget the term, but you start to see things that were there before, but now you care about them, right?
Yes.
And so you'll be grabbing evidence. You might grab a photo of a sign in a store that's either a great or like a horrible example of what you're trying to do. So you can add that into the email, and you know what I mean? And it just,
yes, I do.
And so people like consistency. Don't worry about, and the other thing I want to commend you on is you're clearly not, all this has been said and taught before by people who have been doing this, have retired before you even got into it. Doesn't matter. Because that means that there's also a whole new audience of people looking to learn this, and you're going to be their person, right?
Yeah.
And so own that. I love that you're not getting hung up on that or having imposter syndrome or any of that crap. You're just out there doing your thing. Love it.
Oh, there's been plenty of imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
But
it'll come at every level.
Yeah.
It'll be there waiting for you. But the good thing is, the more you go through it, the more you get used to it, and you go, I know what this is. This is dumb. This is irrational that I feel this way, but I do. So I'm gonna carry on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Bader Meinhof.
Awesome.
Thank you, Lita. All right, awesome. Thanks. Awesome. It's great meeting you.
Yeah, thank you, Kevin. You too.
All right, I'll see you inside.
All right, sounds good.
So good. I love this. Cool. So little Lita, what do we? Let's see who we got next. I'll go in the private chat. Let's go to Jason. Yep, Jason's here. Haha, look at that. Sporting the swag. Yeah. Beautiful. Looks good on you, bro.
Thank you.
How are you? Where are you today?
Youngtown, Arizona.
Oh, I've never heard of that. Youngtown, Arizona. What's that near?
Egypt. BFE.
Okay.
It's near Air Force Base. It's basically Youngtown is only as big as this neighborhood, I think.
Wow. And so how far is it to the big city?
To any civilization?
Yeah.
Well, luckily we're built on a grid, so it's a straight shot. It's probably about 20 minutes in.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad.
Yeah.
And are you there for the military, or is it that just did life plant you there?
I am just lucky enough to live close enough to the base to hear them run drills in their jets almost all day long. But I've lived here for such a long time that it doesn't even phase me.
Right, you even hear it.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So, no, we're just super close, and we get a pretty great view of jets flying over the White Take Mountains over here. So
wow, very cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, cool. Well, thanks for being a member. Thanks for obviously you've accomplished something cool to be sporting that T-shirt.
Yeah, I won a challenge, a copy challenge, and I got to sit in with April Dykeman and do the control freak.
Yeah. Cool.
That was really great.
Yeah, she's brilliant.
Yeah.
By the way, one thing I didn't mention about Copy Chief Live is that we're also, for the first time, going to have a virtual component. Of course, we want everybody there live, but when I mentioned the room, what I'm going to do is virtual. I'm going to have only virtual guests in the room, so it'll be a whole different set of experts, right? So, like you reminded me with April, because I know April probably will not be comfortable traveling come November because she has a young daughter who can't be vaccinated. And so, but she's like, I'd love to be the virtual, expert for everybody. So
that's good.
Super cool. Cool, man. Are we looking at copy today?
We are actually. Now, this is kind of a funny situation. So I've started a business where I provide book descriptions for self-publishing fiction authors. Now, self-publishing fiction's been around for, I mean, the better part of a decade, I'd say, but it's kind of early as far as offering services in this space.
Okay.
So this is a real bat signal thing because there's only a few people who do this. Mm-hmm. So what I am going to do to help myself stand out more is something that no one else is doing. I'm going to be creating a YouTube channel where I will do reach content and look at book descriptions for, bulletproof classics that, no matter what I said about the traditional publisher's description, which could be crap, even if the book is legendary and we all know it. If I break down the description, I say that it sucks. It doesn't matter because the author won't even know I exist because it's Stephen King or somebody. But I can bring value to self-publishers so that they can see how this can work. It's a top of funnel idea to get them into the actual services I provide. But when you create a YouTube channel, it's a good idea to have a script for your trailer. Anyone who comes to YouTube, comes to your channel and is not already subscribed, they want you to have a trailer for to convince people to to sign up and to subscribe and catch all your videos. So I wrote a script using the 4x6.
Great. Okay.
I submitted it into the copy feedback, and I got feedback which I was shocked at because I used the 4x6, and
it had to be bulletproof.
4x6 is perfect. So what I learned was successfully using the 4x6 can be a matter of degrees. So I had two Copy Chief members who helped me rewrite the copy, but it took removing 5 parts of the 4x6 in order to get it right. So I got to give credit to Tien and to Rev for helping me see that less copy allowed the same great message to be able to come through. So
man, thank you for that lesson. That is so good. And such you're right. It's an interesting thing about the 4x6 because we think, thank you, formula, use it all, can't lose. That is an interesting thing about the 4x6. We don't always need them all.
Yeah.
And I did a really fun breakdown of that Harmon Brothers ad that they did remember that? And I, found two that weren't in the ad because it was like, what, a 2-minute ad. They couldn't be there, but they were strongly represented on the landing page, right? Yes. And so great lesson. So if anybody's here, we have more than just members here. 4x6 is 4x6 copywriting system that basically helps you break down all the 10 parts of what needs to be in just about every ad, not every ad though. And shows them to you, you move them around as needed. And we want to get them so tight. This is kind of like a really good, sometimes it serves your whole need, but sometimes it's just a great first draft that you could get them onto a 4x6 card, nice tight copy. So if you're interested in that, search 4x6 copywriting formula or just come join our community, copychief.com/join. All right.
Nobody writes alone. Okay.
That's it, baby. We don't do it alone. So it looks like, I don't know what I can tell you that Rev and Tian can't because they're both brilliant. But let's look at it. And maybe I'll have some other thoughts. So let me figure out how to stop sharing what I was sharing. Start sharing this instead.
The first draft is at the top, and then I made the corrections that they suggested, and that better version is at the bottom. So there's both versions on there.
Yeah, I saw that. Do you think it's valuable to look at the original?
I think it can be, because that's where there's just a little bit. It's a little bit flabby, and and what's hilarious about that is that the parts that they suggested removing were what I believed was the most copy. It's the, like they said, why can't I live without it? Like that part can go, and I thought, holy crap! Like that's where you kind of help them see how valuable this is.
Yeah.
But then, to be honest, if they are solution aware, then I don't need to go into the problem a lot of why you need this kind of thing. So which most authors are. Marketing, copywriting, it's everything you said earlier. They can self-publishers are creative writers. They can write, but this is a different kind of writing. So they can write, they just don't know how to write this, but they know that they need this, but they don't know where to go. So I was selling too much the why can't I live without it? And so Tien and Rev were right. Like that can go. Yeah. These people are ready to hear what you have to say.
That's great. It reminds me, it's probably, I would love to update the 4x6 to add that layer on top of it, right? It's meant to be just like a simple, don't overthink it, but you're right. Like awareness is always such a factor. So just maybe like sort of color coding that a little better so you can decide. Okay, cool. So by the way, Zach Evanesh is here. I don't know if he's still here, but what a legend. Great to see you, Zach, if you're still here. By the way, Zach is the guy who first basically introduced Chris Orzechowski to copywriting, because Zach is a fitness guy and Chris was like really into his stuff. And he's like, why do these emails like get me so excited? What kind of magic stuff is this guy writing? And he basically like reached out to Zach and asked him. And what's up, man? Yeah. And that's, so Zach is why we have Chris Orzechowski. So big nod of respect to you, Zach, in all kinds of ways. Great guy. I gotta
say this.
Yeah.
Chris Orzechowski, Mike Renard, and Rachel Mazza, their emails that sell by Chris, advertorial training by Rachel, and the Facebook ads training by Mike Renard are almost the secret to writing good book descriptions. So when I first joined Copy Chief, I gobbled all the training. And that was something that I found to be true when I started looking into why is it so hard for authors to write this stuff? Because it's marketing, but those three are especially integral. Their trainings were integral to helping me understand what needs to be done in a book description to help authors actually sell these things and not just describe them.
I love it. Yeah, thanks for mentioning that. And those are not coincidentally the three experts we feature in our money skills training, because for two reasons. We call them money skills because they're the most in demand. So you could take any one of their trainings and start a business right now. But if you do take their trainings on the whole and combining, you could apply every one of them into Facebook, into email, into editorial, and all the copy you write. So love that. Killer. All right. So let's see the original. Do you want to read it or you want me to read it?
You do it. It would be great to hear you read it.
I'm Jason, and I'm a marketing copywriter who creates attention-grabbing book descriptions that tell shoppers looking for a good book, read this next. Read This Next with Jason is where I help, I love that title, where I help self-publishing fiction authors sell more books by giving them free advice about how to write better book descriptions. If you're an author, you're a reader, and you know how terrible some book descriptions can be. Even traditional publishers get it wrong. So what chance do you have to get it right for your books? If your current book descriptions don't have essential elements of marketing copywriting, you may be selling far fewer books than you should be. Interesting. All right, I have one note right there. But improving your book descriptions can help you sell many more copies of your books, even overnight. The problem with most book descriptions is that authors use them to describe their book. That's the last thing you want to do. You see, book descriptions are advertisements. Very good. You need to sell your book in your book description. It takes marketing copywriting to do it right. For proof of how badly fiction authors need this kind of help. Google the phrase how to write a book description and you'll get millions of results that tell you how to do it. And they all mention marketing copywriting. Very nice. But only read this next with Jason provides weekly in-depth insights from a marketing professional right here on YouTube. This is the only YouTube channel 100% dedicated to helping you improve your book description so you improve your book sales. In each video, I'll critique book descriptions of the most popular books on the planet and give you free marketing copywriting tips you can use based on what they're doing right or wrong. I guarantee every video will help you improve your book descriptions to make more money. Plus, I'll answer your burning questions about fiction book descriptions in the comment sections. Click the subscribe below so you don't miss future videos. Stop describing your book, start selling it. Read this next with Jason. We'll show you how. Really great, man. I want to also point out, and we love to see we'll look at the edited version. That's essentially also the 60-second sales hook, right? All those elements are in there as well. And it's a great way to do, like if you write your 4x6 first, pumping out a 60-second sales hook is super easy because you already know everything you need to say, except maybe you need to like get a little creative with the discovery part if you're going to name it, right? But okay, cool. So I want to make sure I saw Rev compliment. So this is the most recent version, right? Okay, so now this is the script. So everybody knows this is the YouTube trailer. You come to Jason's channel. You go, what's this all about? Jason comes on and says, stop describing your book, start selling it. Welcome to Sell Your Story. I'm Jason, and I'm a marketing copywriter who creates attention-grabbing book descriptions for self-published fiction authors. This is the only YouTube channel 100% dedicated to helping you improve your book descriptions so you improve your book sales. In each video, I'll critique book descriptions of the most popular books on the planet and give you free marketing copywriting tips you can use based on what they're doing right or wrong. I guarantee every video can help you improve your book descriptions to make more money. Plus, I'll answer your burning questions about fiction book descriptions in the comments section. Click the subscribe button below so you don't miss future videos. Stop describing your book. Start selling it. Sell Your Story. We'll show you how. Very cool. So we changed the title.
Yes.
To read this next, to start, Sell Your Story. I like it. I think that's a smart move. It's much more to the point of the result they want. You know, it's nice to have somebody want to read your book next, but that doesn't promise they will, right? Selling a book is selling a book. Cool. And I like that you defined the promise of what they're going to get. You're going to take famous books and give them example. It kind of gives them something to look forward to. What I also love about that is it creates this mechanism that does two things. One thing I like to call makes the dinner table. You're making them smarter by showing them. So now they can be with their friend at the bookstore and pick up any book and go, here's a better description for this book. And people are like, oh my God, how do you know that? Right. And it gives, and it gives them this radar now to apply your principles to how they do that. So having said all that, Jason, I would say the next thing for you is like, do you have a mechanism for this, like that you can sort of name and claim for the elements that need to be in a book description, that basically your 4x6 of how to write a book description?
Yes, because one of the things that I'll be doing is offering consultations, and I do have a mechanism that helps me to it creates the nugget, which you can expand on. It's the nucleus. If you have this, then you can actually create a description which you can write any different kinds of way. It works for all genres. It works for every kind of genre in fiction. And so if you have this, then that will allow you to do to write a description and actually kind of fudge a lot of the other parts. But if you have this one particular thing, you'll be all right. And so yeah, it's the organizing principle around which a great book description can be written. So yes, I do have that. Yeah,
fantastic. Smart. And so I would put that out as clearly and possible, like give them the framework. Again, the reason 60-second sales worked like it did is because it was so usable. Like people would, essentially do what you're doing here. I was like, talk about why we suck at this, why it's hard, why we overthink it, and say, here's a Mad Lib. You can fill in and tell your story, and you just instinctively start doing it. And so if the great now exchange here, you probably know this, is like, hey, I want to give this to you for free. Go download it. And I want to see how you do. Turn it into me. Because you're the only single person in the world, Jason, who can tell them they did it right or wrong because you invented the formula.
Yes. Yeah. Good. I love it.
Yeah. And so that's where, and what's cool about that is when you have that dialogue going back and forth, that's all your future content. You'll never, you know what I mean? You could do little case study videos and it just creates this whole new dynamic to it. That's exactly why we're sitting here talking today. It was like that seed of 60-second sales hook that, you know, inspired me to start the forum so I could teach it to everybody. And 7 years later, it's nuts. So it's exciting that you've landed on this, man. And by the way, like, you know, bravo for niching down this far. It just goes to show, like, when you give yourself permission to niche down this far, it makes it more interesting. You know, it's easier for most artists to, you know, the turtle contest. It's like, you know, we're all drawing the same turtle, but somebody's going to win them prize. Like, you know, give us parameters to work within. And that's when it's easier to get creative. So you've done that for yourself. And now you're having conversations that are going to instruct whatever you create next.
It actually, I started when I finished Escape Velocity, I wanted to go into Facebook ads. And long story short, that led to this. An author I was doing the ad for said, you know, that description was really good. And there's a desperate need for that kind of thing. And I said, did you say desperate need? So, you know, you follow the path, you do the research, you go, I get why. And I see I can help.
It's great. I love it, man. Such a great story.
Yeah.
Please, like, ping me, like, even DM me. And I want to know how this evolves for you. I really want to see how the channel does. And once you've sort of proven this and succeeded with it, let's do a podcast episode about it.
You got it. You got it. I was inspired by Sabas when he was doing the breakdowns of the letters. Yeah. And so I'm like, that'd be dope if I got on Copy Chief Radio with this. So
it's the perfect case study. I would love to share that and promote.
All right, good. Thanks, cool, man.
Thank you, Jason. Great stuff, man. Yeah. Love it. It's the best community on the planet. So good. Okay. We got one more. I know it's at the top of the hour. But here's the beautiful thing. This is not a network television, and there's not another show waiting. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to talk to my man, Anas, and see if I'm saying his name right. Hey, Anas, what's up?
How are you, Kevin? You okay? Not too bad. How are you?
How are you? Am I saying it right? Anas?
Yeah, I think if you say it quick, you get away with it. Some people say an ass, and now you think, oh, that's definitely not the one.
Hey, you know, you could flip that, and if someone doesn't like you, you could go, it's right in the title. You knew I was an ass. Why are you acting surprised?
I hope I'm not one in this call today.
No.
So basically, I understand because of the timing and everything, I want to keep it short. I thought to myself, you know what, let me ask you a generic question instead of, you know, asking a big one where we get lost. My generic question would be, if Kevin had lost everything at the moment and you just knew the resources that you had, where to go and everything, how would you go about it? Like, how would you go back to succeed? And if you can take that in email copy, that would be awesome. Like, how would you organize yourself to succeed? Yep. That's the main question, I think.
It's a great question, and luckily for me and you, one I've answered before. I actually have an email about this that I will, Lolita, let's find it and post it because it's a really cool lesson. And so there's probably several ways, but the one that I think would work the best. It's a really great question because it's much of what I talked to Youcef about. And basically it's that whole idea of figure out what you do best, position yourself as an expert in it, study companies you think you could kill it for, write samples based on the stuff that they're sending out now, send it to them, and be aggressive about it. You know what I mean? Like, be enthusiastic. Don't worry about being a pain in the ass. Like, and if you do that with enough companies, because every single company needs copy, whether they know it, whether they have it, They all want to meet new copywriters. And if you can show them without them having to ask or go through this back and forth that you can kick ass for them, you're going to get hired, you're going to get work. So if you did that, with, 1 to 3 new companies every day, if you're sitting there, you got nothing else to do anyway. You lost everything. You got to go forage or hunt maybe for a couple hours, later in the day, but you're out morning, reach out and do that. And now you're developing your skills. You're making contacts. These people, you're going to get hired, and then you're going to take it from there. So that's what I would do.
Okay, but if you would go back to Copy Chief itself, where would you start? Like, I've just gone through the stuff for Chris. I understand how to write and all of that, and I'm still thinking to go through what was it? Was it core email skills? Core copy skills, I think.
Chris's original training in Copy Chief.
Yes. So how would you use all of that to progress fast?
Here's one thing I'd say.
Because
I'm sorry to interrupt, but are you? How much are you writing right now as you learn?
I'm not writing that much. I'll be honest with you.
So that's going to be my advice to you. Like, I want you to ingest all these trainings, and that's great. Do not get caught up in student mode where you're going to start writing when you feel like you've learned enough to start writing. You're a writer. You were drawn to this because you enjoy the written word, and you must feel like you're pretty effective at it. You know what I mean? You see things and you can see how to improve them. You get things done with your letters, with your emails. Like, you're effective with the written word. That's why you want to be a copywriter. So write. You got to write. So don't just fly through trainings and expect that to, like, osmosis to happen. Like, you got to get in there and get in the dirt with it.
So does that mean you would go and, like Chris was saying, you get all these emails and you collect them, and then you're looking at it and you're thinking to keep on writing for them, even though that you're not, you don't have them as clients? Would you just keep on writing every day?
100%. Yeah, it's practice with a purpose. And the other thing you're doing is you're building a portfolio of, it doesn't have to be work that you can attach numbers to. People, in the beginning, people just want to see, can this person actually write? What kind of flavor do they use? Do they seem like they know what they're doing? Could I see some samples that looks like it would match my voice, right? And so you're answering all that with your practice work, and you just put it in the correct format in a portfolio, and it gives everybody, anybody what they need to decide to hire you. So don't wait to start until because you'll never stop learning, man. You're going to be learning your whole career. Sure. And the worst thing you can do is wait to actually start moving your fingers and writing until you think you've learned enough. You're a writer now. Keep writing.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Kev.
Yeah, thank you. It was great meeting you, man.
Awesome.
Appreciate you jumping
You too, brother.
Awesome. That was great. Cool. Well, this is great, man. I really enjoyed this. Thanks everybody for coming on, being vulnerable, allowing me to coach you, to share with you, for teaching us. There's a lot of great lessons everybody brought today. Really appreciate all of you. Copy Chief Live got all my attention. It's only going to get more exciting. August 17th is when tickets go on sale, copychief.live. Please get on the wait list. The price will go up every month. And so the best price in the most availability is going to happen right out of the gate. So please be ready. And cannot wait to share more about the event with you, to be with you in November. We're going to have the music. You're going to see Parris Lampropoulos and David Deutsch and, Addison Rice and Angie Coley and myself, like, get on stage and jam with the band. Maybe you'll get up and jam with the band. It's just a blast. It's a party, and it's going to be great. So thank you so much. Appreciate all of you, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.